Good evening. Welcome to the City Council meeting of December 5th, 2012. Can I have the roll call, please?
Donald Sykowski.
Here.
Salem Derby.
Present.
Dan Hagan.
Present.
Joseph McCoy.
Here.
Chet Ogalevitz.
Present.
Dan Rist. Joy Winnie.
Here.
Nathan Ziegler.
Present.
Okay, so we have 3 minutes to approve it. I'm just going to do this a little separately just in case there's any abstentions or changes. So could I have a motion to approve the minutes of October 17th?
So moved.
A second on that?
Second.
Okay, motion a second for the minutes of the October 17th. Any discussions or abstentions on that? None seen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Do I have a motion for the approval of minutes of November 7th?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, a motion a second on that. Any changes or abstentions on that? Okay, none seen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. And lastly, could I have a motion for accepting the minutes of November 20th?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
There's a second. Any abstentions, changes?
17th,
None seen. All those in favor?
Abstention.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Minutes are approved. Public speak time. If there's anyone here from the public who would like to address the city council, we have no, just come to the podium and state your name and address, please, just for the record.
Hello, my name is Glafira Ennis Yench. I'm from the Easthampton Council on Aging, and I'm here today just to remind the people about the services that are offered for the public at the Council on Aging. At this time of year, we can help people with information dealing with their fuel assistance applications, their health insurance, and in particularly wanted to mention, because we know that there are a number of seniors who have paid their bills at Jones, and we want them to know that we do have an emergency fund at the Easthampton Council on Aging, which has been set up from donations in our Friends group, and we want Easthampton seniors who find themselves in a bind because they had paid their bills and it hadn't been forwarded, that we may be able to help them. So contact the Easthampton Council on Aging. Our number is 527-6151. My extension, and I'm Gliffy or Glafira, is 12. Judson Brown is the other outreach worker, and his extension is 15. There are a lot of other programs and services. Just feel free to give us a call. Our newsletter called the Senior Sentinel, we used to mail this to everybody, but because of financial constraints, we no longer do that. But it is available in town at a number of public locations. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your service. And so again, if people need assistance, 527-6151? Is
Yes.
that correct? Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, anyone else from the public who'd like to address the council concerning any issue? We have no public hearings, but, okay, none being seen. I would like to just make a little note. We did have some guests with us tonight, the Girl Scout Troop 40101. The leader is Diana Norman, and we have Megan Snap, Emma Norman, and Hannah Wazinski. So thank you again for attending and listening to our council meeting tonight. Thank you. And then moving on, communications, Councilor Derby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Help Easthampton families in need. The Easthampton Toy Program is in need of single rolls of tape and monetary donations, as well as wrapping paper donations. So if you do have a donation, you can drop off your donations here at 50 Payson with either Karen in the mayor's office, and her number is 529-1470, and her email mayor@easthampton.org, or with Risa in the personnel department, 529-1464, Rigott, RIGGOTT @easthampton.org, and those toys will go to families in need in Easthampton.
Great. Thank you. Mayor Communications, Mayor Tosnick.
Thank you, Mr. President. Although there's nothing on your agenda, I do have a couple of items for you. I believe you got a copy of the first item this evening when you arrived. As you know, Friday is Pearl Harbor Day. We're celebrating the 71st anniversary, and at the request of Ed Barucki and the Veterans Agent, we've issued a proclamation. And so I'd like to read that for the record. We did have a ceremony the day before yesterday here in the building with the veterans. Whereas the citizens of the city of Easthampton wish to honor the memory of more than 2,400 Americans who were killed in the December 7, 1941 Day of Infamy attack on Pearl Harbor, and whereas the citizens of the city of Easthampton wish to recognize all of the men and women who were serving during that first direct attack on America during World War II. And whereas the citizens of the city of Easthampton are grateful to all of those patriots, men and women from all walks of life, who sacrificed their safety and security to protect our national freedom and preserve our democratic way of life. And whereas the citizens of the city of Easthampton wish to recognize the importance of keeping the memory of their service alive and in our hearts. Now, therefore, I, Michael A. Tausnick, the duly elected mayor of the city of Easthampton, by virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereby officially proclaim that December 7, 2012 shall be known in Easthampton as Pearl Harbor Day, issued and witnessed under my signature and the official seal of the city. That proclamation was issued, and I know that you all join me in wanting to remember Pearl Harbor and say thank you to all of the veterans who were serving at that time. And there are fewer and fewer of them. We no longer anywhere have anyone from World War I left. And so as time progresses, these men and women meet their fate. The other item that you don't have any backup information because I submitted it electronically is our Green Communities Annual Report for fiscal year 2012 was submitted. And the highlights are that versus our base year, which was 2009, the year before we actually officially became a green community, we've seen an overall 12% reduction in energy consumption. Based on this annual report, we're projected to save more than 529,000 kilowatt hours of electricity annually based on projects that have been implemented in FY12 and that are currently under implementation. And I think you're familiar with some of those regarding electricity savings in schools and in public buildings. There were also 15 new projects that were completed under the stretch code that we adopted to become a member of the green community. 9 of those were new house constructions, and the average HERS rating is 49. Now, the importance of that is, so that you get a sense of it, is a standard construction new home today has a HERS rating of 100. The lower the number, the much more efficient. 0 HERS rating means self-sufficient. So a home with a 0 HERS rating requires no outside energy. So 49 is essentially reducing the energy costs of new construction by about half. So it's an amazing achievement. Of course, the contractors deserve the credit for the HERS ratings since they're the one building the structures, but everything seems to be falling into place.
Thank you.
Nothing else, sir.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Winnie.
9C cuts.
Yeah, 9C cuts that were announced yesterday amount, from the budget perspective, to a 1% cut in the unrestricted local aid. That cut is going to be in the $20,000 range, $23,000, $27,000. I don't remember the exact number. We should be able to absorb that without any significant changes in any of the budgeting at this point. The other impacts, which are not on the budget, are probably going to be more drastic or felt more, and primarily by the school department. Cuts to sped circuit breaker funding and cuts to transportation. In our case, the transportation cuts really are going to be reflected in the homeless transportation account, which is relatively small for us. But I think we're going to see those hits in the sped circuit breaker. And so another blow for the school department.
Any additional questions for the mayor? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to standing committees, Rules and Government Relations. Councilor Riss is not here tonight. Councilor Uglewiggins, did you want to cover that, or just want me to summarize?
If you want to just summarize.
Okay, sure. I know he did make a comment to remind everyone that we will have a public hearing on the Chapter 32B issue on January 19th, and the request concerning the Mount Tom coal plant resolution. That meeting date will be set at our next meeting, which is December 19th, and we will also be addressing the issue concerning the recording of meetings by the city, starting that discussion at the December 19th meeting as well. And that concludes for Rules and Government Relations. Finance, Councilor Hagan.
Just quickly, our next Finance Subcommittee meeting will be 12/12/12. It'll be in Room B, the basement, as opposed to the Room 1. I guess Room 1 is being used for some activities. We have only one item currently on our agenda, which is the senior exemption. We hope to deal with that so we can bring it to the full council for a recommendation. And also, we've started to receive, or have received from the finance director and the city clerk, the beginnings of the budgetary process, so we'll probably have a general discussion on dates as they come up and what we will bring forth for full council approval. We will discuss that at the next subcommittee, but at this point, we're not gonna bring anything forward.
Okay, does that conclude then?
That concludes.
Okay, public safety, my committee chair, and there's no reports, so appointments, Council Winnie.
Thank you. We had one appointment to review tonight at 5:50, appointment subcommittee. The vote was 3-0 to go ahead with the appointment to full council. So I make this in the form of a motion that the James Valancourt be appointed to the Housing Partnership with the term of expiration of December 31st, 2015.
Second.
Okay, well, motion a second for the appointment of James Valancourt to the Housing Partnership. Any additional discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would you like me to do the new?
Yeah, why don't we
Okay.
do that?
We have a new appointment, two appointments brought before us by the mayor. I would move that we put those down to appointment subcommittee.
So we have a motion then for the moving of Peter Davies, Theodore
Second.
Perch to the
Second.
Appointments Committee. Is there a
Second.
Okay, second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion passes.
Thank you. Our next meeting will be December 19th at 5:45 in the council chambers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ordinance, Councilor Derby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our next meeting will be 12/12/12 at 6 PM in conference room A, across the hall from finance. And the city planner should be at that meeting, and we are going to review the 3 items on our agenda.
Okay.
That
Thank you very
concludes my
much.
report.
Thank you. Property, Councilor Psychowski.
We met this evening about the authorization for the telephone service to the new high school, and we discussed the issue briefly, and everything is a go. We voted 3-0 to approve it. So in the form of a motion, I move that the city council authorize the mayor to execute an easement agreement with Verizon New England and Western Massachusetts Electric to provide telephone and electric service to the new high school on Williston Avenue in Easthampton, Massachusetts.
Second.
Okay, a motion, a second to accept the easement for the telephone service of the high school. Any additional discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion passes. And that's the last of it for property, Councilor Psychowski.
That's it.
Okay, and we already moved to new business, so I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. We'll see you on the 19th. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have to sign anything, Barbara?